For the latter half of my adolescence, I've tried to convince people of 3 things: to watch One Piece, play League of Legends, and to go out with me. And I get the same 3 responses from all of them. It takes too much time, there's too much to learn, I don't like the character design. But now that One Piece is statistically proven to be the best show ever, and I have a wonderful real girlfriend that's real, I don't really need to worry about those 2. But for some reason, people have this idea that League of Legends is some stupid game with broken mechanics, toxic players, terrible lore, and overall an addictive design. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely ridiculous, because League has awesome lore. There are 2 scenarios that explain why you're watching this video. 1, you already play League and you're trying to find out how to enjoy it again, in which case you did the right thing coming to me. Now, if you have over 1 million mastery points on a champion and you still aren't in Masters, then it might be too late for you, but I'll try. And the second scenario is that this is your friend's final effort in trying to get you to play with them, and in that case you should know they just want to play with you. Now, maybe you should question the validity of their friendship on the basis that they are trying to get you hooked on one of the most addictive games of all time, and they probably don't even enjoy it anymore. Maybe, call it a hard maybe. But if you're getting addicted to a game that has champions like this, then the developers aren't the issue here. You have some issues to sort out. But if you're really adamant on not playing League with your friend that just wants to hang out with you and touch virtual appendages, then I'll give you an out. In League of Legends, there's the character you can play whose whole design is based off not playing. It's a champion named Yumi who will just attach to another player and will do everything for them with some bonuses. Just say you want to play her and you'll never actually have to play the game. But if you care about your friend and want to play with them but don't like League, well, here's why you should do it anyway. First things first, League is just a well-made game, but also it's every game. Now hear me out, maybe you don't want to play League of Legends because you're busy playing something else. Well, let me tell you, whatever you are getting out of your side piece game, you can get out of League if you make it your main piece game. Maybe you enjoy a bit of Stardew Valley, you know, just some casual farming. Well, guess what? We've got the jungle Nasus. Don't worry about battling players when you can farm these cute little puppies. You can treat your allies like the NPCs in Stardew Valley and literally never interact with them, unless you're trying to marry Abigail because she's a babe. Maybe that's too chill for you though. Maybe you like Zelda and you want to run around the world collecting stuff. Well, enter Bard, a champion whose whole kit is about going around the map collecting items to get XP and slightly better damage. You want stasis? We got that. You want Ascend? We got that too. You want to play as a hot, lovable, blonde twink character? Well, it's not Bard. There's Ezreal, but also, what the fuck? Maybe you're a hardcore gamer though, you know, you want something bloody and visceral. You want some hardcore stuff like Mortal Kombat or Tekken. League has a fighter champ that's literally all about landing his killing blow move that doesn't concern itself with armor, resists, or really any mechanic that's supposed to balance the game. Just good old-fashioned fighting. His name is Set. Now, he is also a furry, which I'm thinking is going against the demographic I'm appealing to here, but don't worry about that. Now, for me personally, what's been keeping me off League lately is I've been liking Black Ops 6 a lot lately, and I've gotten pretty good at it, as you can tell. But once this Call of Duty game ends up being boring in 3 months just like all the rest, I'll want something to satisfy the American in me with some guns. And I don't have to look anywhere further than my bot lane or my school. There's nothing any game can give you that League can't. And it doesn't matter that it's a 15-year-old game, which means you have a decade and a half of content, community, lingo, and jokes, and skill to catch up on, because none of the old content is in the game anymore. I can explain to you all the inside jokes and phrases, and the game has the biggest training wheels on everything now. I'll admit that there are a lot of games that have been around this long that are very daunting to get into because everyone's been playing them for so long. For instance, Super Smash Bros. Melee is a game that's existed for almost 20 years, and it's scary to get into because all the pros have been playing it for 20 years. Melee has never really changed, so people have had 20 years to break and exploit the game and take the engine to its absolute limits. But League isn't like that, mostly because League has a working engine and game mechanics that don't rely on breaking them, most of the time. Maybe I'll make a how-to League for Dummies video in the future, assuming this isn't my last video ever. But until then, here's everything you need to know in the most nutshell of nutshells. There are champions that do physical damage and magic damage. Read the abilities to find out which champions do which, and then just buy the recommended items, read them if you want, and take the recommended runes and read them if you want. And then walk down one of the 3 lanes and try to kill their nexus. That's it. It's not a very complex game, and luckily you don't need to worry about learning old strats because they aren't in the game anymore, and thank goodness for it. There used to be a champion that could be permanently invisible and untargetable named Evelyn. She could buy 6 of the same item that made a burning effect around her, giving her the ability to kill everything without ever being seen. Luckily, the game totally flips on its head every season, which is about once a year. Now, as for the inside jokes and the jargon and the lingo of this game, it does run pretty deep, but I'll go over it really quick. So pay attention for a second, because these are all the main phrases, lingo, and jargon you're gonna see. Insert position diff. This is used by player A on red team to dismiss disparage player B, also on red team, by suggesting to the players on the blue team that the reason player A on red team is losing is because player B of red team possesses a lack of skill in their respective position, so different from player B on blue team that it is the sole reason that player A of red team is losing. Diff is a shortened form of the word difference. This colloquial piece of jargon often gets harsher and harsher by using metaphor to emphasize the difference in skill between the team's players. For example, someone may say jungle gap, meaning there is a gap between the skill levels of the two junglers and one team winning solely on the back of the better jungler. Other forms consist of jungle canyon, mid chasm, and top Mariana Trench. The reason you would say this is to divert blame or credit. If you are doing poorly and you start to lose because of it, you can simply say jungle diff to divert all of the blame onto the jungler. However, if you are in the top lane and losing against the other top laner, you can simply say jungle diff, and the only reason that they are better than you is because they have a better teammate. Now you might think that this is just a form of sheltering your ego, because it is, and that's actually going to be a lot of this jargon. Insert name has muted themselves. Now you might just think this is a harmless notification the game sends out so that you know not to expect pings from them. What it actually is though is a protest of them saying, I am better than you and I'm going to mute you because I'm so above you. However, when you mute everyone, it doesn't give a notification, but the muting yourself does. No one is pressing the mute self button because they want to show restraint or don't want to flame. They are doing it to show you that they are better than you. And no, I'm not projecting. Enemy missing nearby. Immediately you may think that this is a ping that you would use to warn your allies that an enemy has left the area and we don't know where he is anymore. But actually what it is a question mark that you spam on your allies' dead bodies after they do something very questionable, or something that someone would spam on your body. Not that I haven't done this. The next phrase we're looking at is 200 years in quotes. This one is very simple. Riot often releases champions with very good abilities and passives. Sometimes, however, they are way too good. For example, Aphelios. He was a champion that when on release was one-shotting entire teams due to his broken kit. Kit refers to all of their abilities and passives and everything they have at their arsenal. And right before his release, Riot employee exonerated his fellow designers by stating that throughout all of them they had over 200 years of collective game design experience, therefore would not fail in making well-balanced champions. So people will say this whenever they die to champions that they believe are overpowered. And if you want to give this phrase a test for yourself, there's a new champion that just hit the line and she is very stupid. And the final inside joke is that this champion named Jax is a PDF file. That's just because he is. And finally, the last reason that you should truly play a league is the community, which immediately a lot of people just laughed at, but in all honesty, it's great. Yes, it's toxic. Yes, it's hateful. Yes, you might be called a slur off rip, but it's also very creative, coming up with games inside of games like Mundo Dodgeball or ARAM, which started as a community idea that Riot made an official game mode. Heck, League itself came from Dota, which came from a mod in Warcraft 3, which came from Warcraft 2, which came from Warcraft 1, which came from Blizzard, which came from these three guys, which came from these three guys' dad's semen. I should have stopped at Warcraft 3, but you get the idea. The League community is crafty and creative and fun. Sometimes flaming your teammates and telling them that the only good part about them is that they're on a team with you is the best part of League, because at the end of the day, they're all actually really kind, and you can see this in real time with League streamers. Pick any one of them and strike up a conversation. I'm sure all of them would love to have you.
Okay, I haven't gotten a stack in a while. Oh, fuck you, Herald NA.
Well, never mind. Play whatever you want. Now, I was going to make a code for this video just like all the others, but truthfully, this is the first video that I would not have made if it weren't for y'all watching. So I can't really say it's for me. So no code today. And I appreciate you watching. I shed my old name a long time ago. Didn't deserve it. I don't know Jax's lore.
Well, he's a Darkin, right?
That sounds familiar. Oh, shit. Fuck, man. Sorry, dude. Fuck.
We're good about that one.